A woman from the Mountain State has made it her mission to find her father's killer. The story is being told in the gripping new podcast, Ice Cold Case. Joining us now is Madison McGee to tell us more about the podcast and your journey. Madison, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about Ice Cold Case.
Yeah, so it's a podcast, so it's audio, wherever you get your podcasts, and you follow the journey of me investigating my dad's murder, which happened 21 years ago, right across the bridge from Wheeling in Belmont County, Ohio. And it's very non-traditional in the sense that it's not solved, so you're just coming with me as I'm investigating this case as a pseudo-journalist, a daughter, just asking people for answers and trying to figure out what really happened that day and putting it into a podcast.
And we were just talking a moment ago too, you said, I didn't even want to do this. I didn't want to do it this way, but in your quest for answers, you thought this would be the best approach. Is that right?
Yeah, I feel like it was the only approach. In order to get someone to care about a cold case in the middle of nowhere, the only thing I could think of was to utilize my skill set in production to make a podcast that was compelling enough that would get people talking. We see this happen a lot with other cases, particularly white women. They go missing and the internet finds them in 24, 48 hours. Because the story is so compelling. And so if I could turn this story into something really compelling, then maybe people would care. Mm-hmm. And so this kind of felt like sort of a last resort.
Why do you think your father's killer hasn't been found yet?
I think there's a lot of answers to that question. I think that the circumstances surrounding his death, there was probably a little bit of a cover-up situation happening. I think that some family members were involved, which led other family members to sort of brush it under the rug. They didn't want to out their cousins, uncles, etc. And so I think that it was sort of a perfect storm of the police not really wanting to get as involved in such a touchy case and family members saying, well, let's just quiet down about this.
I want to read this to you. In the trailer to the podcast, you hear a woman say through tears, she's saying that I really don't know how to tell you. I just know I need to tell you the truth. Did you ever feel like you were talking to people that did know something?
Yeah, and that's been the most frustrating part about this is I actually feel like they're looking at me while I'm asking questions like I'm the idiot. I think a lot of people know a lot more than they're telling me, and I'm asking questions that maybe a lot of people already know the answers to, but they're just not telling anyone.
Mm-hmm. How important has listening to your intuition been during this journey?
The most important. Which has been a bit of a struggle as well. I had a conversation with the Belmont County Prosecutor's Office. Obviously, I can't walk into a courtroom and say that I think this person did it because my gut says so, and the case is closed. So relying on it has been good for following leads, but I need hard evidence to actually get this solved in court, and that's been the biggest struggle, is sort of knowing intuitively that I'm on the right path, but having nothing to back that up.
Mm-hmm. Where can folks go if they're interested? The podcast is already out, right? There's how many episodes?
So right now we have 2 episodes out. It comes out every other week because we are making this in real time, which, as you know, is very difficult to do. And so every other week we're putting out episodes, and right now we have it slotted for 8. But we're open to doing more depending on someone calls in with a tip, we follow that lead, maybe that leads us down, another rabbit hole. So right now it's going to be 8 episodes, but we're very open to continuing this on as long as we need to.
Well, Madison, I wish you the very best in this quest, this search for truth and finding answers. So folks can find Ice Cold Case wherever they get their podcasts.
Any podcast platform, we're on there.
All right. Well, Madison McGee joining us on Good Day at 4. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty. We'll be right back on Good Day at 4.